Okay, it is day 98. It's Tuesday. It's about 50 degrees outside. And it's 6:57. You're like, oh my goodness, you are leaving late. And that is right. The reason I'm leaving late is because Corinne had to be at her store at 4. No, excuse me, we had to be there at 6 for the senior shopping thing. So she left here like 5 something. So I let them know I'm gonna be a little bit late because you can't make a dog poop when he doesn't want to poop. So it is what it is. I don't think it's a problem, but it stresses me out, even though I know it's not a problem. But I'm just like, oh God, I'm so late. But I'm curious as to what it's like at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm leaving about 30 minutes later than I normally would. So we'll see. I usually get there about a little after 7:30, so we'll see if we get there at 8 o'clock. Which technically would be late if I do that. But yeah, it's just it feels like we're just working all the time. It's like you get a couple hours to relax and then it's time to go to bed. And it's a bit much, I guess. Got some pretty sky going on over here, which is kind of cool. And tonight it's supposed to be some supermoon thing, so maybe we get to see that. But yeah, not sure what the day's gonna be like. I think I've got a fire ant job, but it's like not like the fire ant jobs I do. It's like I don't know. Again, I don't understand why I've got all these jobs to check for wood destroying organisms, and I'm out doing fire ants with basically the kind of granules that you could buy from like Tractor Supply. So I don't know. Kind of weird. So anyway, I'm gonna drive. All right, so it's 7:50. Still made it before 8 o'clock. Not too shabby. Traffic was a lot better this time until I got to Charlotte. When I got to Charlotte, it was actually a little worse. But up to that point, it was fine. So I don't know what that means. Kind of weird. But anyway, got to go handle some paperwork this morning, make some phone calls, and I left the house with, like, I realized that like when I got like into, right the main drag of Albemarle, I was like, went down to grab my coffee, and guess what? I left it sitting on the table. Damn it. So I'm gonna go make some coffee, maybe, if they've got coffee here. I don't know. So we'll see. All right, so it's about 5:45 or so now. I'm just almost getting into Albemarle. I've been on the phone with Andrew. Like, I left the office about 5, a little after 5, something like that. So we're just, trying to make things work. I think when you've got, people at home that are taking the phone calls in their jammy jams, drinking their coffee, going to poop whenever they need to poop, using their toilet paper. And you got guys out in the field that can't even wash their hands to go eat lunch because we got no hand cleaner. And all the McDonald's and stuff inside are closed, so you can't go wash your hands. So you got to talk to customers face to face. So you have this dynamic of us kind of being in the thick of it, and you got the people that do jammy jams at home, safe as a bug on a rug. They just kind of forget the fact that, I can't run a GPS on my phone, take phone calls, and try to figure out where I'm going. It's just like, handle it. Just set me up something and I'll go do it. It'd be all right. Just crazy. But it was a little chaotic today. Yesterday I had a fire ant treatment, not a top choice treatment, but just a regular old fire ant treatment, super cheap, on my schedule. So this morning I came in and I was like, all right, I asked Patrick, I said, all right, what's y'all's protocol for your non-year warranty fire ant treatments? Just because I've never I don't know what they do. I don't know what they use, that kind of thing. And he got to looking at my schedule. He's like, you don't have a fire ant treatment to do today. I said, I don't. And he said, no. He said, I think one of the other guys did it yesterday. I'm like, oh. And I looked at my schedule, and sure enough, not on my schedule. I was like, cool. I've got some free time. Got some termite inspections to do, so I'm going to make some phone calls. Got a couple set up to go do. And now all of a sudden, like midday, it's like, hey, your fire ant call, want to know where you're at? And I'm like, what fire ant? The one that Carl told you about this weekend. I'm like, it's not my schedule. And it's just like a whole lot of unnecessary stuff. If I'm sorry, I had to, Tech was calling, so I had to talk to him for a while. So now I hadn't even made it upstairs yet. This is nuts. It's nuts. And I thought maybe I'd be sitting behind a desk all day, like, you know, wearing like nicer clothes and, you know, fancy shoes. Nope. Not at all. So I do think, like, which I'll get into this for just a little quick second, and then I'm gonna go upstairs because I'm just ready to not home. There is a slight amount of resentment I think I have that, you know, I've got all this to offer a company, and instead of like the family business working it so that I can help the family business, I basically just I have to leave and drive an hour one way every day to survive. And it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of crappy, I think. And I don't really talk much about like what went down and everything, but the bottom line is I'm an exterminator. I kill bugs. I've been doing it for a long time. I have a lot of knowledge about what to do and growing businesses. I've been running, you know, I've worked for 5 different companies, I think, maybe 6, and, you know, several mom and pops, multi-million-dollar companies, and, you know, so I've got a wealth of information and experience, but yet it doesn't matter. None of that matters. And it's just, all that matters is, you know, we're going to take someone who's not as experienced as you are, and we're going to be equal. And I just had a problem with that. I think that's not right. I don't know. I mean, if you're bringing the same thing to the table, I'm bringing the same thing to the table, then we should be split equal. But just because we have the same DNA, one person's put 25 years experience into something and one person's put like 5, why should that be equal? So I have a little bit of resentment, I think, and I try not to think about it, and I don't really talk about it, and I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I do think that, you know, every day that I drive and deal with what I've got to deal with, it's all because of that. And it's just, it sucks. But, you know, it is what it is. So I'm at home. I think she's already walked the dog, I hope, because I had to do it this morning. So I'm gonna go upstairs now because I'm hungry, I think. Okay, day 97? Nope, 8? Crap. Day 90, whatever it is. Hang on. Is it day 98?
I don't know.
Oh, she don't know. Anyway, it's day 90 something. This is the supermoon. Got clouds. We've had clouds most of the night on it. Huh? It's 98. She figured it out. I didn't know that. Yeah, supermoon. Boop boop. So, yeah, today was a little rough. I don't know. I think it's just the stress of everything is kind of just making things a little more worse than it should be. I don't know. But try to be positive. We just suck at it. I suck at it. But yeah, I'd like to, I don't know, I just want to get through this stuff. I mean, it's just like, God, can Disney World open, please? So we can just, like, at least know something's good's coming around the corner. Because, you know, we obviously, I don't think are going to make it to, you know, Colorado. I don't know, maybe. I doubt it. I think everything's shutting down. So still, we haven't flattened any kind of curve. Oh, I was going to mention this. Got a burp though because I'm on film. Okay, sorry. So I had to go to Home Depot today over on Wendover in Charlotte. So, as you remember, if you followed along, the Lowe's situation that happened Sunday. So I had to go get some caulk for a job I was doing. I was going to videotape it, but I didn't because whatever. But they had like a queue line set up, like with like landscape timbers and things. Like they had the whole basic front end blocked off, and you had to go through a queue line. And on the ground, it had little X's of where you're supposed to stand and wait. And they had one employee was like cleaning the carts 100%. The other employee that was right by the door, who had gloves on, but she also had to constantly having sanitizing wipes on her hands, so she wasn't actually touching the cart once the cleaner was done with it. She would watch and make when someone would leave, and she would let somebody else in. So it was like a, you know, only so many people was in the store at a time. And there was a pretty good line, which I had to get the caulk, so I wasn't really worried about it. But I think a lot of people were kind of like, well, I'm not going to wait in line for this to go get, I don't know, a 1 pound box of finishing nails that I don't really need for anything today. So it kind of, I think it discouraged a lot of people from shopping like without purpose, you know, like, so that was good. And they were very assertive, and you felt like you kind of needed to do what they were saying to do. And then throughout the whole store, they had these red X's everywhere, you know, like at the paint section. So if you're looking at paint, how far away you're supposed to be from somebody. So you basically just stand on your X, and then you can just look from where you're at, and you were automatically in the right spot. So it was amazing to me that that particular store did that, because it was, I felt safer there than pretty much any other store I've been in. And for me, it was also upsetting in a way, because our Lowe's is not anywhere near that. I mean, it's not even, it's a joke what we're doing here. So I'm glad somebody's doing something. And, you know, and does it really help? Does it really make a difference? I don't know, but it doesn't hurt nothing. It doesn't hurt anything to have a clean cart. It doesn't hurt anything to stay that far away from someone and wait and not have so many people in the store. And then when you're leaving, of course, the doors were wide open to leave, but they had, you know, employees on each side of the door. And one person was counting, and of course they had 2 on the inside and 2 on the outside, and so they were keeping people coming in that way. But yeah, it was just, I don't know, good job for those guys, because I was like, wow, this makes sense. You know, it made me feel better about, you know, I'm trying to social distance and do all that kind of stuff like I'm supposed to, but then you saw these people that aren't even remotely doing it. And so you're like, why am I even doing it? Because they're getting up in my space, and I don't know. I was really impressed with the fact that they were so progressive in how they handled it. I almost want to go back to Lowe's now to see if maybe they've changed their policy, but I don't know. It just, good on them. But anyway, so that's day 98. I don't want to be negative. Just don't. That's, you know, this isn't the point of this. But sometimes you got to vent a little bit, and you know, and I'm not a very good liar at all. So if something's bothering me or I'm upset about something, it's hard for me to be like, oh hey, what's up? Oh my God, I got a fart, you know, or something. It's just I can't do it. If I'm upset, I got to get it out, and I get it out. Sometimes I delete the parts of it, sometimes I don't. So, I don't know. I feel like if you're watching this, you care about what's going on, at least from my perspective. So, why should I filter it? But anyway, so recap: 98 supermoon. It's not very beigey or peachy. There's something about peachy. I don't know. Anyway, maybe tomorrow will be better.